that Nigeria is at a crossroad with a choice to embrace necessary changes or risk. And peace has returned to many northern communities. He emphasized that restoring security would allow farmers to return to their lands, boosting food production and reducing costs. He also warned that without addressing fiscal issues, Nigeria could face collapse. However, reforms have attracted over $30 billion in foreign direct investment in the past year. All right, from the president's statement about Nigeria collapsing without necessary reforms and the fact that instead of collapse,
that is the problem. So I think I align myself with Mr. President. There is need for reform, for you collapse.
No, right. But, yes. But then some of the policies that he has introduced as regards
it must be painful.
Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians are against those policies.
Are you against it or feel pained? Against the policy, what is your own policy? If you are against the policy, bring your own idea. That is the issue. We argue, we criticize without bringing solution.
Even when they bring their own
Who has brought solution?
No, we cannot say that Nigerians have not suggested anything. We cannot say that.
What we are suffering today, let me tell you, we'll talk about the National Suffering Fund. Well,
and you are aware. Definitely,
you should have to tell
that. But how much do they really get to listen to some of these reforms that some of these suggestions, right, or recommendations that some of these Nigerians get to introduce or suggest?
Mr. President didn't just come on his own. These are blueprint experts brought along. He's just the principal. He's the driver. There are people, experts globally, world over, who brought this idea he's trying to implement. His duty is to look at that thing, and even when they get it, it's not alone. He has an executive council. He has consultants. He has experts across the world who look at the policies and undertaking. It's not just wake one morning and introduce a policy. No, now. Governance are never done that way. Where do you have the executive council meeting?
I don't think anybody is implying that. Is anybody implying that? Is anybody implying that the president just...
You, the media, is also part of the problem.
What do you mean the media? When you say the media, I'm not saying you, because remember, I introduced you as a journalist.
I agree.
So we are the media.
Okay.
But go
we are the media.
Conversation.
We are the media. We refuse to go to developmental journalism. It's true. There's nowhere in the world where you don't have this kind of pain. But it depends on how you tell it to the world.
When you say this kind of pain,
that's the presumed pain.
A particular kind of pain, and you're saying this kind of pain is in every area in the world. Let me
tell you, there's no country that has not this kind of challenges. There's nowhere. But ours has been over years and time because it refused to reform. It refused to reform, and someone has come with courage to reform. Let me tell you again. When Jonathan was around, he wanted to reform, they fought him. He wanted to reform. He's one man that is a Democrat. Nigerians find it difficult when there is a positive changes that affects probably their pattern of life.
What do you mean Nigerians find it difficult when there are positive changes? That's an outright statement.
Yes, apologies.
Because when you say positive changes, what makes it positive? People would look at the results and the impacts that it has on them.
Okay, let me tell you again. Nigerians in occasions will begin to throw money and abuse the money. Let me tell you too. There's too much money in people's hands than the bank. There's too much money.
Okay, so that's why introduction of hardship.
There are too much money.
So we have less money with people.
We are reckless with the way we spend.
That's for people who have to spend.
Spending is subjective.
How many people really have to spend?
See, let me tell you.
If we're going to check the ratio.
Let me ask again. Food. Everything.
Okay, let's even start from let's be very specific, because it looks like we're just being holistic, not pointing at any particular point. Let's look at the removal of subsidy. I know that when you said that the pain is something that you would definitely feel when, especially when reforms policies like this are introduced, right? So let's talk about the particular policy. Let's not just be, holistic. So with the removal of fuel subsidy, protesting against, what are they talking about? If you have followed that story, you find out that what Nigerians are saying is it's beginning to look like we didn't really have a lot put in place that would get to cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy. And it was just a sharp, you know, it was just something that just happened. And before you know it, the effect that it had on Nigerians, or it's having on Nigerians, just came immediately. So you don't expect the people not to fight that. So they are not against, a lot of people are not really against the removal of subsidy, but their own argument is, what did you do? What were the measures that were put in place to make sure that when this happens, what is going on now with the hardship that Nigerians are fighting against would not be as much as it is biting at the moment?
It's okay.
So finally, yes,
no,
go on, please.
If the Tinubu remove subsidy, that's the question first.
Who announced
because he made that statement in the day of swearing-in ceremony. Was the subsidy there? Was it in the budget he inherited? When Nigerians are not sincere to themselves, especially the leadership, the masses have refused to work to protest. That same subsidy, was the subsidy not there in the first place? Was it in that budget? He inherited a budget that subsidy was not covered. He said it was removed. So you see, sometimes when we are talk street talk, you carry out investigation, find out what it's all about. You forgot that what was happening today is the sins of the past. Yes. There's no free food in Freetown. Let us face that the country is growing every day like every day that grow. 64 years. Some of us are also almost clocked near it. So ask this issue of private refining never started today. Even Obasanjo at the time, they gave licenses to a lot of people to float private refineries. What happened to those things? Why is it now they're emphasizing Dangote? Yes, there are public refineries owned by government.
Big question. So
because we have no trust, we don't believe in Nigerian economy and governance. We don't believe in Nigerian economic security. We go outside and invest and bring it back here.
So how is that the problem of the people?
Yeah, problem of the people. Let everyone answer now. In governance now. Now there are people are hustling, campaigning for election, whatever. When you go to the government, you don't steal money and come back. People say, see you, in your day, they know if you bring anything back. No shame, in the die for poverty. So you want to bring home, you want to loot. The people, the masses are the problem. Because they force the leadership to do what they're not supposed to do.
I'm not getting that part of it because
let me tell you.
What exactly are you referring to?
What I'm referring to is the people, when I mean the citizens themselves, also part of the problem.
We get what you said.
Yes.
But I'm just wondering what you're referring to, talking about the citizens.
Now, let's for instance, have you asked yourself
to do what
we are talking about? Because that is the life of the system, that is the life of the economy. Isn't it? In the government center, like I asked before, have they investigated what these problems are? Because at the time they say money is missing somewhere. Have you investigated that money missed? Where did the money go with wings? And who gave the money wings? How did the snake swallow the money? But what I say in effect that Tinubu.
So that's the people forcing the leadership to go.
Yeah, people steal because they want to. The people at home will credit them. Yeah, government. What do you bring home? Instead of asking for services and services and social amenities. We come from a community. My uncle was once one of the finest pansexes in this country. You know, incorrectable. He came and they said, don't mind him, no get herself. Upon saying they that finish, come the top of village. You know, some others are making it. Because they didn't steal. Nigerians encourage stealing.
What? Yes, I understand that part. We cannot really take that out of the equation, right? We cannot entirely take that out of it. But what you are saying is more like making brief for people who go to steal. For instance, these boys that rob around, right?
That's
so
not
just
hold
on. These boys go to rob,
yes.
And then we see them and say they have mothers at home who push them to go and make money like their mates. That's understandable that happens. We're not saying that doesn't happen, but that is not an excuse to then say that the people are the ones pushing the leaders to do what they don't want to do.
Now,
because the same way those boys that went to steal have mothers at home, that's how the same boys who are not going to steal who are responsible individuals still have parents at home who push them to do it.
You don't seem to understand what I'm saying. But let me face your issue of what I'm addressing.
Putting it all on the people, saying the people are the reason the leaders are doing what they are doing.
Now,
doing what they don't want to do. That is.
Take for instance now.
Putting all the blame.
Let me take you back to the protest issue. Yes. What is the direction? You and I can stay and plan it and mobilize people. What is our direction? Petroleum, as a case, we have refineries that are coming to us. There are millions of dollars, billions that have been invested in.
Is that also the fault of the people?
I'm coming, allow me. You are talking about subsidy or not subsidy, but not problem. If we have our own homegrown refinery, our refineries working, importation will stop.
Exactly.
Good. What again you should be talking about? Who is sabotaging it? You said when you mentioned about power, people are sabotaging it. If refineries start working, why would they be stealing the money to go and import, claim that you imported fuel, you brought nothing and you collected the money? What are they importing? You bring empty receipts, come back home and say you have imported the fuel, you return back again and collect the money. So what my stand is that the government, of course, if you cannot run this one, privatize it.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's look at the next story now. That is a recommendation from a lot of Nigerians. Federal government is expanding its rice subsidy program to Lagos, Kano, and Borno states to combat food insecurity and alleviate the economic burden on Nigerians. This follows the initial launch in Abuja, where 50 kg bags of rice were sold for 40,000 naira, significantly below the current market price of around 90,000 naira to 100,000 naira. According to a Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security official, the expansion will soon begin in the new states with a focus on ensuring citizens have access to affordable rice. The program aims to distribute 30,000 metric tons of rice, equivalent to about 1,000 truckloads. The official reassured that the sales in Abuja are still ongoing, contrary to rumors of a halt in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, despite some coordination challenges and attempts by individuals to buy rice for resale, the government remains committed to ensuring low-income earners benefit from the subsidy. Officials are optimistic about smoother rollout in Lagos, Kano, and Borno. The subsidy program is part of broader efforts to combat food scarcity and inflation, which reached 37.52% in August 2024, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Rising food prices combined with Naira's devaluation have worsened hunger. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Wale Edu has emphasized the need for Nigeria to end reliance on food import, focusing on domestic production as a key part of economic recovery. There are fears that even though this is something that a lot of Nigerians applaud, there are fears that he might not really get to the actual people that is intended for.
This is laughable, very funny. You know Nigerian population? How many bags? Nigeria is not less than 200 million people.
It's not for everybody.
So how have you the economy?
It's for the vulnerable.
Who is not vulnerable?
Is everybody vulnerable?
Everybody is vulnerable. Now about 70%, 80% are vulnerable.
Okay.
Yes. Who is vulnerable?
That's according to your own.
It is a simple truth. There are people today that have money to buy even pure water.
But you talk about us spending and lavishing.
No, I'm coming. That area is gone. What I'm telling you, this thing is funny.
Okay.
The state government should go to areas of comparative advantage in terms of food production. Let us face the truth.
Okay.
Take my state, for instance. Everybody can produce rice. Whatever has state government done to encourage rice production? Bayelsa can. Now, we here too can produce something that is more costly, valuable than petroleum. We can enhance investment and production in our palm pantries, palm production. We cannot be asking, would they bring how many trillion, how many tons? Is this enough for other local government area? You are talking about Nigeria. So let me concerned, this policy is neither here or there.
So if you're actually against this policy, thinking it's not enough, right? It's laughable.
Okay, let me ask you, they say about 1,000 trucks of what? Rice. Is it per local government? Is it per community? How many people are Lagos? What is the population of Lagos? What population? Rivers is sadness, almost 7 million people. And you're telling me 1,000. Is it enough here? Come and share this in order, but it's not even enough.
But that means you're against palliative.
They should. What is palliative? They should do something that is understandable.
What is understandable in your words?
Let me tell you, they should encourage. I had to give me small. I've mentioned it. There are states that have some like kind of cooperative economic advantage in terms of agriculture production. There's a popular name, Ikoye Gari, Eche Gari, Bini Gari, Edo Gari. Understand what I mean? This thing is giving message. Why not encourage some production in those areas? The major food in this country is table food, Gari. One thing after moving to Osemo, those ones are glorified Gari. So what stops you from encouraging that area of production here? Gari, Ikoye Gari, yes, there is a fallow land. Why not encourage such production?
You're not the first person talking about especially South governors not doing.
They're not doing anything in terms of food production.
In terms of agriculture.
Yes.
Yes. So why do you think that is the case?
Well, I don't know their policy. In those, like this thing, every month you go to the federal, they give you money. In way of federation, whatever account or whatever they shower you. Maybe you generate a few naira from industry and company. The main issue is in agriculture. If River State invests much in palm production, you don't need, you know how much you bring in? There's a lot of byproduct that comes within the palm trees. Yes. And the hardly thing you can do. Now again, you go to in terms of agri, you can make so much from cassava.
And it doesn't mean that we do not have people who are in charge of agriculture in this state.
What would they do? They should devolve agricultural policy to up to local government, up to community level.
All right.
Understand what I mean?
Okay.
When you devolve such responsibilities, such policies, there will see more production.
Let's move on to another report before we wrap things up from the National Bureau of Statistics. They have reported, they've made a particular report, and this is around petroleum, the volume of petrol imported into Nigeria. In 2023, petrol imports fell to 12.6% to 20.2 liters in 2022. Similarly, the volume of petrol distributed by trucks year-on-year from 24.35 billion liters in 2022 to 20.2 billion liters in 2023. In contrast, diesel importation saw an increase, rising to 4.9 billion liters in 2023 from that's about 4 billion liters in the previous year. The NBS data also revealed a notable increase in local production of household kerosene. I'd like to take that part again. Can I just take that paragraph again? Talking about the local kerosene now. That previous year, the data also revealed a notable increase in local production of household kerosene, which surged by 56%. Okay, I decided to take that part again because it has stations and you don't find kerosene. People find it difficult to get actual kerosene. And some parts where they get to find kerosene, at the end of the day, you realize that it's not maybe diluted or it's not really clean enough, like the actual kerosene that we used to know back then, right? But generally, I'd like to get your thoughts on this story.
I don't use kerosene over years now. And because these kerosenes are poison, they're dangerous. Highly combustible because the kerosene you see now, they call alone will frighten you. It's not the real kerosene we used to see in the past, and I not even see kerosene anywhere. So I don't know how they put this their research and report.
It's not about local production actually. That was for local production of kerosene.
Local production kerosene, who is producing it? Do you have refineries?
That's one big question.
Do you have refineries?
Because they've talked about an increase in local production.
Now, who is producing the kerosene now? If Port Harcourt refinery is not working, what is not working? Kaduna is not. So who is producing the kerosene? Production.
Who is encouraging it?
The same system and government and the companies. Let me tell you, these industries patronize these guys. Yes.
Which industry?
Yes, now.
But they are not,
because they are not, so where will they get power? If you are not producing kerosene, so where do you think they get their kerosene? Where is the local production? Port Harcourt refinery is not working, Kaduna is not working, what is not working? Where is the local production? Dangote started yesterday. I wonder why they started producing kerosene. I don't know. So, I think it's a lie.
This report is for 2023.
20 what?
23.
By the year 2021, was the refinery working?
Big question.
So, I think I fault it.
Okay, you fault
yes.
MBS report.
That report is not, it's not fair to Nigerians.
You know that when you talk about MBS report, you're looking at something that
Nigerian board it's not fair to Nigerians. They are not fair. Yeah, they are not fair to Nigerians. Who is producing the kerosene now? The household.
Who have been producing the kerosene ever since?
That's what I'm asking now. How many years now has our refinery been out of production?
We have had, you just made reference to us having cleaner kerosene in the past than we do now.
Then our refineries were working. They were even though they were important some then. Our refineries were working. I was one station manager in a petrol station mobile. I was as a growing young man.
But for a long time now, our refineries have been moribund.
That's what I mean. So why did they get the local people they're claiming?
Have we not been using kerosene in Nigeria ever since our refineries?
The major kerosene in Nigeria are these local boys who do it from the waterfront.
So what did they say? They said local production.
And maybe they are assessing the boys by the water side.
All right.
Probably they are boys.
We will get
to wrap things up. Perhaps.
We will get to wrap things up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your coming on the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I believe that this Nigeria will be fine. Nigeria will be good. Just like that, just let have faith and support the system. You know, how that when I met you on this road, this NTA road, people, road is bad, great. Today you're enjoying it.
All right.
So the same thing will reform so
right.
the world. Thanks very much.
That is the voice of Adiwali.
Yes,
thank you
Adiwali.
so much
It's
for
a pleasure.
joining us.
Thank you. You're doing good. You're doing good. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. And big thanks to you for being a part of this conversation. Remember, you can stay connected with us on all of our ATN socials, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you once again. I am Enidoye Jackson. Coming up next is Open Conversation. Please stay with us on ATN.